Uh, at this level, I want to, because time constant, we want to take 2, 3, or 4 questions and response. Uh, Let me start with one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman of History and War Studies, Nigerian Defense Academy here in Kaduna. Two issues that need clarification with regard to presentations of two scholars, eminent scholars here. One, Professor Beyebusa, you made an assertion that the South is far above from the North in the 1960s. As we are sitting before, the world is watching us. So I think it's beyond mere mention. We need to clarify. When we talk about Western education, agreed, the southern part of the country is far ahead of the north. But when you look at other pursuits of life, such as economy, politics, and what have you, for example, the mainstay of the economy of the nation, as far as the period you were talking about, was agriculture. And the agricultural output of the nation were largely produced in the northern part of the country. So just to put the record straight. And finally to Professor Alhaji Jumarisa, so you made an assertion that Sardaunan was a jihadist. So this kind of statements need to be clarified because when you look at the definition of a jihadist in contemporary politics or in the international system, there is someone that is uh, fundamentalist, extremist, that know nothing like killing or destruction, and so on and so forth. So we cannot just at this kind of gathering discussing about important legacies, leadership, integrity, and what have you, and also clarify and say that Sardauna is a jihadist, either you take it or leave it. It needs to be clarified. Thank you very much.
My name is Ahmadu from the Department of Political Science and International Studies. Well, I wasn't born when Sardaunan was assassinated, so I didn't know him either. You've been learning about him from others in books and some of the stories. In fact, for many years we've been coming to our house since in the 80s and 90s, listening to the late Namasanin Kano, Abdurrahman Okene, and so on and so forth, about who Ahmadu Bello was. But one thing I came up with is, apart from Ahmadu Bello, looking at other leaders within and outside Nigeria, I noticed that for one to be a great leader, he must develop the culture of ultimate sacrifice. And Ahmadu Bello is the quintessence of sacrifice. Today, we are not talking about North. There is nothing like North. Anybody who tells you there is North is a hypocrite. We have Nigeria today. That's the reality. When are we going to have leaders that can sacrifice? We've had other leaders in other parts of the world. Mao Zedong, Ho Chi Minh, and so on and so forth. In Nigeria, we have others, Mala Aminu Kano, and Saadu Zungur, and so on and so forth. Ahmadu Bello sacrificed. How many people of our generation would be willing to sacrifice? Not only their family, their wealth, but including their lives to make sure that Nigeria is a great country. How many? Ahmadu Bello did that sacrifice. That was why we have his legacies everywhere. Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, the hotels, some of the structures all over northern Nigeria. Because of the sacrifice he did in his thinking, he wasn't self-centered like the way most of us are today. So, no problem. You've got it.
Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to everyone. I am Tukur Baba. Although Professor Mahmoud has tried to make me look old by referring to me as his teacher, he forgot to say I was a baby lecturer then. I just want to contribute on two observations. The one is by Professor Dayabo and Professor Jumari. They painted a picture of the North as a dystopia, some hell that has broken down and so on. I want to challenge you, it's absolutely untrue. You are buying into the propaganda of denigrating the North to show that it is behind. It is not. Let me give you one example. One of the measurements of progress is socio-economic, income. Of course, you know, the income of 10,000 naira and so on is not a lot. But when you take a typical farmer who grows 100 bags or even 1,000 bags of rice and you call him a poor man, or you look at someone who lives in the bush, in the buka with no facilities, but he has about 500 cows. Even if you average about 750,000 naira per cow, that is absolutely not a poor man by any Nigerian standard. So we should be very careful about people who put us down. There is a lot that needs to be done, but a lot has been done. Check education, the statistics of education. People with degrees in 1960 and people with degrees today. There's a difference. At independence, the North has actual Northerners in the civil studies was less than 200, at least 211 and so on. If you had to put the 19 plus 1, how many are there today? We need to be careful about the narrative. Let me quote Dennis Osadebe, the Prime Minister of Midwestern State, who said, "Those who doubt my talents in secret fear my strength." Don't forget that. Be very careful about the statistics.
Thank you very much.
It's so true. And then the second one, Professor Babu, if I can take 2 minutes to reply, he asked what the ACM is doing. A lot. Research, documentation. In recent times, the ACM raised issues about the tax law, about foreign troops on the ground, and so on, but we need more.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I just have 2 brief comments. Number one is that I have not met Ahmadu Bello because I was born in 1964. I was too young to know him in 1966, but I have read a little about him. What I discover is one of the qualities of Sir Ahmadu Bello as a leader was the right to be different. In Nigeria, we have multiplicity of religion, multiplicity of identities, multiplicity of ideologies, visions. We have different visions. But he decided on his own reality and said, "This is where I'm going." When people said they wanted independence at a particular date and he knew that was going to be injurious to his own people, he said, "We are not ready." Take a parallel with the minimum qualification for teachers. At a point, Nigeria decided to say the minimum teaching qualification should be NCE. And I knew some secondary schools in the old Kaduna state had NCE as principals of senior secondary schools. But when there is a national policy, we follow the bandwagon. We must start planning with our own reality. No matter who is going to castigate, abuse, disabuse, or denigrate us, we should not allow the narrative to dissuade us, as he has said. Number two, we should be wary of undue pessimism. We are making progress, but because of our expectations are very high, we are not even counting our blessings. This is not true. I was an Almajiri in 1969 up to 1972. I was a full-time Almajiri, moving with bow, moving with captain without short knicker. But I am now a global citizen, and it's an achievement of the northern leaders. That's why when anybody wants to say our leaders have failed or they are not doing anything, we are not objective, we are not realistic, we are not sincere. For we to make progress, we have to quantify objectively our achievements as well as the gaps. Then we work on the gaps and consolidate our achievement. We are talking as if we are on a zero level, which is not true. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
If you had not asked me, I would have said gender disparity. Well, my name is Sardaunan and Ahmadu. Well, anytime we are talking of Sardaunan, I used to even maybe I come to even blame Sardaunan. I'm very sorry to say. I said now Sardaunan has done so many things. We have known, we read it, we have seen it, we have seen so many things. We have even benefited. But now I said, why is it that Sardaunan did not tell our people to follow legacy or to see him as a role model? Is it his fault that he did not say whatever I'm doing, please follow my suit? I remember in 1998, we were having a meeting of Northern State Northern All Student Association. I was representing Konamina College Association. So all the former minister, former MD, former governor, all these senior citizens were there. So we were saying Sardaunan, this and that. So with blessed memory, Madam Abdulkadir Balarabe Musa stood up and seized the microphone and said, all these people you were here, you were minister, you were governor, you were circuit, what did you do? I think we are only trying to observe these things and so that at least we will have more commitment, more patriotism, and so that we will at least do something for our people. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. We can give the panelists for a response.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. I will commend Ariel House for putting together this very strategic round table. Although it's been said that my name is Mariam Hamza. I'm from Nigerian Defense Academy, Department of History and Muslims. So, even though we said the engagement here is an academic engagement, but I think for a very critical event like this, we need to expand it beyond the academia, to involve the 19 northern state governors, traditional heads, and religious leaders. Because everything we're talking about today is all around leadership. We're looking for a savior, a messiah. Like we keep denigrating the North, like nothing is happening. So maybe the leaders need to hear and understand that yes, we appreciate what they're doing, and also tell them where they have fallen short. So I think maybe not castigating what the Ariel House has done, but maybe expand it so that the critical people that we are addressing this matter to should also be part of this program. Thank you.
Ariel House has another program where it normally invites government and policy makers to discuss issues, isn't it? But this one is complete academic exercise to come and examine the life and time of the premier and what lesson can we drive from his own time. And secondly, what Madam Sara has said, you see, the important aspect of this discussion is not only commemorating. We have said Sardaunan, he has done this, he has achieved this. What lesson can we drive? This is the essence of history. Recollections. History is just like a mirror. Look back. What happened? Why did it happen? How did it happen? Within a short time, Sardaunan has achieved this in education, in agriculture, on the economy, and what have you. And the catalyst is the issue of vision. Can we produce another Sardaunan in every sphere of our lives? That is one of the important aspects. At this juncture, I want to, President David, would you like to respond? Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much. I think there's a little bit of a misconception about some of our solutions. We are not denigrating the North or our leaders. We are pointing out areas that we believe we are seriously lacking. Prof. Jibril said the statistics or the comment I made about the North being behind the South, they are not my words, actually. You can find that from Ahmadu Bello's autobiography, My Life. It's written there. And that was what I was referring to. They are not my words. Secondly, Professor Tukuru also was having issues with some of the comments that were behind and so on and so forth. I don't think any of the panelists was categorical that we are not developing. No. But if you compare the numbers, to collect the statistics, not from Nigeria, from international institutions, some of them are more reliable. You see clearly that we are lagging behind. There's no doubt about that. We are making improvements. I was told not long ago that Kano State now has the highest number of graduates in Nigeria. Now, that's fine. I didn't get time to verify the information, but I hope that's the truth. But if you compare the numbers, our number, and the number of people who are in school, you will definitely agree with me that we have a lot of problems. Nobody has, I don't think the whole world has 10 million out of school children. We are the ones that have those. Nobody has the problem of insecurity like we do. Not even, I think, Sudan. They have a civil war there. But here we have insurgency, we have banditry, we have communal clashes, we have all kinds of problems with regard to our security. We cannot get out of this until we have leaders who can deliver. And that is the bottom line. I'm happy Professor Jumale mentioned this, that Arewa House and Ahmadu Bello Foundation and some other institutions, it is their duty. Leadership, we cannot take leadership for granted. Any student of political science knows that, yes, the debate about whether leaders are born or they are made, to me that's a fake. In the 21st century, leaders must be made deliberately. We must come up with a program that will identify capable northerners, young children, maybe from secondary school, train them, equip them, make them be ready for leadership. If there is anything that China has, that the whole of the Western world combined, to fight China, and they will not succeed, is because they are very, very deliberate in their leadership selection and training. This is fundamental. I took my time, I studied their leadership selection and training. I have spent a lot of time doing that. So, and that is the key for any country that wants to develop. If you don't have the leaders, you don't have the trained leaders, they have the mental capacity and the training. The training including moral training and so on and so forth. If you don't have it, you cannot go anywhere. That's the bottom line. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and other members. I think Professor Ayabu has clarified some issues that I wanted to clarify, but there is one thing that I was perhaps hard, so to say, that I called Sardaunan a jihadist. No, I don't mean that. I said Sardaunan being the great grandson of what do you call it? Grandfather, he is seen by others as a jihadist. But nonetheless, that doesn't confine Sardaunan to the fact that he treats other non-Muslims as different, but rather he involved the culture of tolerance, accommodation, and mutual respect, irrespective of religion. So for him, religion is a framework that gave him inclusiveness. It's not religion that gave him the basis of exclusion. No, it's the religion that gave him the basis of inclusiveness. So I wondered, maybe if he had that, perhaps maybe a list of terms for them. What I meant was that for others, they felt Sardaunan being a devoted Muslim and a great-grandson of. So they are expecting him to trace the call of, okay, Islam is my religion and everybody should be a Muslim. But that wasn't Sardaunan. And I've said it. Thank you.
Want my comment?
My elder Tutu Baba, I don't need to discourage it to northern leaders. But I think there is one thing that we do not even try to think about. That has been making northern leaders the way they are today. We tend to forget completely about imperialism, you know, and the colonial system in Nigeria. That's very, very important. I'm surprised that Professor Ayew will not talk much about colonial system. Because the colonial system ruled Nigeria not as a nation but as a company. Because Nigeria was purchased from a company. So that's a small colonial era. The British, they tried to divide Nigerians along ethnic and the tribal lines, in fact, even among religious lines. You know, if you typically look at some key or major urban centers in northern Nigeria, you know, that's where actual colonial system worked. You know, but look at Kano and look at Zaria. I think there's a very good PhD in this university, Bello University. It's written by Abdul Wayo. You know, I see that it's on Sardaunan in Zaria. Why was Sardaunan created? Why was it created? Because this is colonial segregation. Because colonial believes that segregation was concomitant to political control. That's why they divided us against people. All lines, I mean, even in our economic system, you see the create of GIA, the create, a market for Europeans, the Lebanese market, the traditional, if you look at all the cities, that's a very, very important factor that made it impossible for our leaders, to perform, because I think they have been suffocated, by colonial divide and rule in the policy. The advantage of Ahmadu Bello probably is because he was from the family of Sheikh Usman Danfodio, so that's how he was brought up, for that commitment of, but all others, I think, even in religion, look, when Yoruba come to Kano, for example, when they migrated to Kano, and during colonial era, they are not even given chance to pray in local mosque. That's why you see Asaruddin, Awaridun, Awan Islam, blah, 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 because they are, typical Hausaman will say, the religion of Yoruba is not actually a good one. There's a problem with imperialism. Look at what has happened in Nigeria. I think Trump has divided us between Christians and Muslims, and we are not seeing that. So that's why there are a lot to be done. We have to know how to challenge these issues. Otherwise, we'll just continue capitalizing, saying that we'll take, what has happened in the past and bring it today. We forget that even history has been killed. I see that some history now in most secondary schools, because Nigerian leaders, they don't want history, because history is a merciless judge. As my teacher in Abdullah he said, that's why history completely has been eroded from our curriculum system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Bako. I want to now recap what rather what Professor Bako said. The Richard Constitution of 1948 is the one that sowed the seed of mistrust and division in the body politic of Nigeria up to today. Up to now, between the North and the South, there is this kind of mistrust between different ethnic groups, different religious groups, and it was deliberately crafted to divide Nigeria along ethnic and religious lines. And secondly, I want to also add to what Professor Daiba said. The issue of our selection process of our leaders. I think we have to do something about it. This is very, very critical. During the time of the Premier, they have carefully tried to ensure that not everyone should be allowed. But in the current dispensation now, once you have money, there is only catalyst, there is only features. I think we need to go back to the drawing board to ensure that we regulate our selection process of our leaders. On this note, I want to hand over the microphone to the MC for further deliberation. Thank you very much.